Hello everybody, here is my review of the Russian T-62A tank by Tamiya in 1/45th scale. Here's a closer look at the title, and it's in both English and Japanese, made by Tamiya. This part of the text is in Japanese on this side, and here's a view of the other side. Let's take a look at what's inside the box. Let me focus. Here is the bottom half of the turret. Over here in the upper corner is the upper half of the turret, with the holes for the hatches and a couple of other details molded in. There are a lot of locating pins which will make it much easier to assemble. Over here, we've got the upper half of the hull, with lots of locating areas to put in the boxes and a shovel molded in. Despite this kit being from the 1970s, the details and the moldings are really fine and crisp and have held well for the age. Guess Tamiya does a really good job of preserving the grooves and all the details. Here's a look at the underside, and over here you can see the Tamiya name. Let me focus. Here it is. And here's the bottom half of the hull. Almost all of the suspension components to hold the idler wheels and the roll wheels are molded in, except for the area with the dry sockets. My copy has a slight defect which will be fixed later. Inside, since this kit was originally motorized, it has holes for batteries. Now let's look at the sprues inside. Here is sprue number B, which has all of the fuel tanks in the back, as well as details which you'll see on the upper hull, like the tops of the boxes and wires, and also a spare track. Over here are the sides for the fuel tanks, as well as a couple more details. Let's look at the next sprue. This is sprue number C, which with the exception of the rear panel, is almost entirely details for a turret, as well as the grill, which is for the upper part of the hull. Here we can view the halves of the barrels and some of the hatches for the turret. Here's a closer look at the machine gun and the back panel. Very nicely molded, and yet still simple to build. The last sprue we'll be talking about is sprue number A, which contains all of the wheels, drive sprockets, and idler wheels, as well as parts for the lower hull. There is a commander figure molded, and he looks pretty nice. His details are crisp and have held out for the past 40 plus years. Let's take a look at the other parts. Here are the polycaps which will be used to hold the wheels onto the tank. Two large ones and rest are small. Here look at both of the rubber tracks used for this model. They're pretty durable. This mesh will be used as a grill in the back of the tank. Here's a quick look at the decal sheet, which includes 3 types of markings available for a tank. Now here's a look at the instruction sheet. Pause the video if you want to see the details. It starts with assembly of the wheels and the treads, then goes up to show lots of details like the turret and the top parts. And we can see that there are 3 different marking options. Now let's get on with the build now. look at the completed model. For this model, the entire tank was primed in Rust-Oleum black primer and was painted with Tamiya olive green over the primer. However, there are a few exceptions to the paint job. For example, this machine gun here is painted Tamiya gunmetal, and the bar behind it was painted with AK Interactive's dark red mixed with Tamiya gunmetal. The tracks were weathered with Tamiya khaki. Overall, this kit went together pretty well. Tamiya's kits are always pretty nicely well engineered and simple, and this is no exception. Here are some of the functionalities of this tank. The treads move like this. You can open several hatches, such as the driver hatch here. And the two hatches on the top of the cupola or turret. Overall, I think this is a very nice kit and would be a good idea for anyone who's starting to build military models. Thanks for watching and please subscribe to my channel.